Hello and welcome to Radiant Realization with Namrata. Today I have with me Veena, and she's a life and a mindset coach. She's working with women to help them reach their highest potential and to live a life full of contentment. Welcome, Veena. I'm glad to have you today.
Thank you so much, Namrata. It's really wonderful to connect with you in this platform. I'm really looking forward for a great discussion here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, Veena, what got you started to pick up this mindset coaching as your niche, and how is it? How did this help you become a better individual?
Yeah, actually, this was nothing planned as such. I just got into this unknowingly, I have to admit. Okay, because for me, whenever I used to hear the word counselor or coaching, I used to wonder how difficult the job of a coach or counselor would be because they have to keep listening to all the difficult situation which their clients are facing. And I used to keep telling myself, I am not never going to take up this. I am never going to take up this. So somewhere my negative manifestation has worked, I should admit, because universe doesn't understand no. And so I came into this industry. But I'm really thankful and fortunate for God guiding me to this because I'm able to reach out to people. And what happened was, I this is a very personal story. I was into customer service. I was into teaching for a long time. Okay. I had no clue of coaching at that time, but I was stuck with depression and signs of schizophrenia, which was really, really hampering my health. My mental health was completely gone off the tracks. I was even ended up admitting in the hospital. I was under medication for 10 long years. Finally, I said, now, God, I need to come out of this. Okay, because my children and my family, my husband was facing the brunt of my ups and downs. Okay, it was not that throughout the year I was in depression. There was some times where this used to get triggered, and this was all because of my negative self-talk, my stories which I had created in my head, and overthinking. A continuous loop of negative and overthinking landed up me in this situation. So I was done. I did not want to depend on medication. And I started reading books. Okay, like positive thinking, Murphy's Power of Subconscious Mind. Then I thought I need to get, and during the COVID time, I used to continuously watch videos on self development and positive self talks. And there I got a lot of information. A lot of coaches have helped me. And finally, I thought, let me go deeper. Let me work under a mentor on this. Let me get a guidance of a mentor. And thanks to Success Gyan and Pooja Puneet for that, I've got a wonderful mentor and 3 months of strenuous training under her. And that was in 2023. And luckily, till now, I have not touched medication. A deep work and deep transformation took place during that time, thanks to Pooja, thanks to all the people in the tribe. Yeah, I could come out of it. I could overcome. Then it got me into thinking, why don't share my journey with others and help them, others lead a better life? Because I know many women are suffering in their professional life, in their family life, without being able to share. Because I was also a communication trainer. I was taking personal coaching, doing personal coaching for women at large. And what used to happen was during the English conversation practice, they used to open up their personal struggles to me. And I was able to give them some tips. Then it got me thinking it will be good to reach out to women like this who are unable to share this with their spouse, with their family, with their friends. And then the whole door of coaching opened up for me.
Amazing. Veena, what are the thoughts that leads to overthinking? See, we all are prone to overthinking. I think anybody who is in corporate or working, non-working, even house managing household, we go in that zone of overthinking all the time. What are the thoughts that lead us into this overthinking mode and which goes on continuous spiral?
Yeah. Yes, as you said, every person. Okay. It is said that every person, almost 60,000 to 80,000, that's a range of thoughts which flows through our mind in a single day. Our mind is very powerful. But sadly, out of this, more than 80% of the thoughts are negative thoughts, which crosses our mind. Yeah. And usually the triggers, as you said, what are the triggers which causes into overthinking? Either living in the past or the anxiety about the future. Especially in this busy world, what we fail to do is live in the present, live in the moment. Okay, we forget to live each moment of our life. We don't think about today, but keep thinking about the future. What will happen? How this decision is going to affect my finances? How is this going to affect my relation? What will happen to my children? Because it's a very competitive world. How will they survive? How will they get a job? How will they pass? All these kind of thoughts keep triggering. And also, for me, personally, I was always living in the past. Okay, because I was always fearing the societal judgment. Okay, what I said was correct. What are the consequences? What will happen? Okay, I should not have done this. I should not have joined this job. I should not have told her like that. A lot of misunderstandings, misconceptions, and everything was a story created in my head. And it happens generally to everyone. Okay, continuous living in the past of regret and guilt, because what we need to understand is whatever is finished, we will not be able to change anything, right? So ultimately, the worries and overthinking which we are continuously going on is like sitting in a rocking chair. You keep moving without any direction. You're not moving anywhere. You're just sitting and rocking. Same way, our worries and overthinking, we are sitting on the same dialogue without reaching any destination, without finding a solution for it. So fear of judgment. Okay, and many a times we also want to perfectionism in our life, especially in jobs. Okay, when we have to give a presentation, when we have to give a meeting, we want to be perfect, and we tend to think a lot. And because of that, some people are, frightened to open up their opinions to others in a workplace scenario. So all these are some triggers, and mostly I would say it is based on the society, fear of criticism. Yeah, these are the overthinking patterns. Sometimes even uncertainty in our environment, uncertainty in the job market or the financial market, that can also lead to overthinking. Yeah,
Now, when we go in this overthinking mode, but do you think while we are expected to make decision, overthinking negative repercussion on decision making ability?
definitely. Because what happens is, to take good decisions, or not even good, to take decisions, we need a clarity. Okay, we need clear mind and some certainty. Only then we will be able to find solutions rather than getting stuck in the problem. So what happens is, when there is overthinking, it's like a foggy mind. Our mind is fully clouded. A lot of things are going within our mind, so it does not give us any kind of clarity. It is in the what if loop, constant what if loop. So for example, if I say, if I clear two jobs interviews, and I'm in the midst of choosing which job should I take, but I'm in total confusion, and I'm constantly thinking, what if I have a lot of work pressure in this job? What if my boss is not good? What will the society say that I'm quitting my current job and going for another job? Maybe it is a startup. Okay, so all these what ifs will start cropping in my mind without allowing me to take a proper decision. So it has a huge impact in our decision making process. And ultimately, we tend to lose. We are not able to think clearly. Our analytical and logical mind totally shuts off. Yeah. So, yes.
What happens? People tell us that you sit in a quiet mode and think about yourself. What do you want to do? This is the usual advice we give people while they want to make decisions. But it's so that sitting quietly and thinking productive does not come out if we go into this. So is there a difference in how to we are thinking to find a solution to a problem, or we are introspecting? And what is the difference between this to an overthinking mode?
Yeah. So, see, overthinking mode, as you see the word over, everything has to be in a balance. Anything beyond that will always get us into some kind of difficulty or trouble. For example, we say overprotective, overconfidence. Similarly, overthinking. We have to think. You have to think analytically, logically, see the pros and cons, okay, and be open to discuss with experienced people. You don't have to isolate yourself when you have to take a decision or if you're confused with something. That is what is lacking in the current society. People are do not want to be vulnerable, or they don't want to accept, especially in a professional environment. You have that fear of judgment. You're not open to talk to your manager. If you have something going on in your mind, you're not able to take a decision regarding your project. It even happens between spouse. Okay. You don't want to open up and have an open communication. So I would suggest take feedback from experienced people. I'm not telling go and talk to 100 people and they will confuse you more, right? Go to two or three experts in that field and try to make a decision and think about what you need to do. What are the action steps which you need to take? Please don't isolate yourself. And here is where our role as a coach comes. We can guide people what to do, rather than going in a solo mode and trying to do everything by themselves. Coaches can help a lot. Yeah, in giving them direction. That is how even I got direction in life. So this is, and in overthinking, what happens is you are so demotivated. You're always thinking about what ifs in the negative sense. What if this venture fails? What if I don't clear the interview? What if I don't do well in the meeting or presentation? And that will not allow you to take the correct action steps. So you're always focusing on the problem rather than the solution. So here, my thumb rule is focus on the solution rather than thinking about why it happened and all those things we'll come to later. But right now, what can you do to fix it rather than focusing on the problem? That is the huge difference between achievers or successful people and the ordinary people. So, successful people, they try to make their decisions right. They are not frightened about failures, right? They are very bold and confident. They have already set in their mind, especially businessmen or even scientists. They're already set in mind. It's okay if I fail, I will find another way to succeed. And they're all constantly working on their or improvising on their solutions. How can I get better? How can I get better? We all have read different stories about, sports people, celebrities, Elon Musk, how, in spite of continuous failures, they never gave up and they have, because they were not stuck in the loop of overthinking or negative thinking, right? Just one failure did not stop them. So, similarly, we should also try to take risk. We should be confident and try to make our decisions right rather than fearing from judgment and failure.
Nicely explained, Veena. Okay. When we go in this overthinking mode, in your experience, which emotions are triggered? or which emotion leads to this fogginess in mind that it becomes difficult for us to pull ourselves out of that situation.
Yeah, the emotions are energy in motion. Okay. So the strongest emotion which leads to overthinking, according to me and in my personal experience, is fear and doubt. Okay. You are withdrawn, okay, or you're closed because of this fear and because of fear of failure and doubt. You don't have the confidence. You start doubting yourself a lot. Yeah. Low self-esteem. Okay. And mostly sometimes it can be overwhelming situations if you're thinking about future. So overthinking will lead because of the future decisions of what will happen in the future. You feel overwhelmed. When you're under work pressure, you feel overwhelmed. Then you start thinking too much. So these, mostly it is fear and doubt, anxiety, stress. All this comes together and you shut down. Okay, that you can feel it in your body. So whatever emotion it is, it will show up somewhere in the body. Either it will start with a headache, or your lips go dry, your throat goes dry, yeah, or you have a discomfort in the stomach. So that is a time where you have to catch yourself and start working on reversing it.
Does beliefs play any role in managing our thinking process?
Definitely. There are a lot of limited beliefs which we all have grown up with. Okay. So the beliefs are generally imposed on us by our society. It need not be true. Okay, I'm not trying to put down anyone here. Okay, but unfortunately, all these beliefs are passed on through generations. Okay, so our parents, our teachers, our elders have taught us something which they have learned from their elders and teachers, right? And this has been going on for generations. But what was true 50 years back need not be true now. What was true for us in our childhood need not be true for our children, for the next generation, right? So, whatever we have experienced, we have made it as a belief. So, we need to learn from our personal experiences rather than from the beliefs imposed upon people, right? So, the belief of judgments, these are all layers put by or the labels put by the society. If, for example, I have grown up with the belief that I am an underperformer, I'm a low achiever. My teachers have been talking about this. It gets ingrained, and I embody that belief. And for me, after 20 years, if I need to face an interview after my college education, it becomes very difficult for me because I have been drilled into head that I'm an underperformer. It is very difficult for me to achieve something in life. So all these belief system gets ingrained in us, and so you need to actually sit and think, what are the belief system which you're working on. Many have a negative story around money, which is very commonly found. Money is very difficult to earn. You have to really work hard to earn. Many people work hard, but are they all rich? No. At the same time, many people are so fortunate and lucky that money comes to them so easily, right? So all these belief system which we have grown up with, we really need to think hard and understand, what is it, a real thing? Is it true, or is it something, a story which we have created because we have seen people around us? And environment plays a very crucial role in this, forming our beliefs and patterns. So in order to break from that, we need to understand, we need to dive deep, understand from the experts how can we break our belief system so that we can come out of this negative thinking loop. Yeah, because overthinking happens because of our belief system, totally interrelated. Yeah,
You did mention about the impact of environment on our thinking. If you can give us a little more insight on what role environment plays and how it contributes to us getting into this overthinking mode.
definitely. So, our environment basically is a reflection of our inner mind. Okay, whatever we are thinking, tend to attract those kind of people around us. So it's very important that we keep our thinking positive so that we can surround ourselves with positive people. Now, what happens for a child who has grown in a negative environment? Or, for example, if I am working in the office where people are very negative, they have a very low self esteem, they always overthink or they gossip, it creates a very negative environment for us. And because of this negativity going around me, I will start thinking, what if I do some mistake? People will start judging me, people will criticize me for this, people will not support me. Okay, so so you would have to make conscious efforts to pull yourself out from that negative environment. Every time it might not be practically possible, because I have seen, unfortunately, your closest ones are the most negative sometimes. They could be overprotective, right? Somebody in your family, you cannot get away from them. They might be giving you good advice because of their care and overprotective, but that might not be doing any good for you. So, what can you do? You will have to create a positive virtual mental environment, right? Read books, connect with friends who can motivate you, who can understand your true potential. Okay, go through videos which are motivating. Try to be in that positive environment. Then there are people who are, stuck with perfectionism. If you have grown up in a family which is always vouching on perfectionism, that can lead to overthinking. That will stop you from taking action. Perfectionism and procrastination goes together, right? So you stop yourself from taking simple action because of the fear of not getting it perfect. So that can lead to overthinking again. Perfectionism can be a big trigger for overthinking. What if this goes wrong? What if this is not right? What will people tell me? What will I will be having to face the brunt of the society? I will be humiliated. I will be insulted. You get a lot of these kind of what ifs. Okay, so you have to be in a very very positive environment, and yeah, try to take small action steps so that you can build on your confidence. And once you start taking steps and start winning, you start celebrating your small wins, and then you go further and you try to come out of that overthinking loop. What you need to tell yourself is, understand the reality. Is it just a thing which I've created in my mind? Is it real? Or, is it just a story which I have created? Yeah, because I said the fear of judgment is something very important. So if you're around people who are constantly judging and criticizing you, you don't have to feel bad. It is their perspective. What you need to understand is you have to be very clear on your goals, where you want to reach, and nothing should stop you from achieving that. Because ultimately, fear is fantasized experience appearing real. It is not reality. Okay, and our brains from the ancient times has been designed to be on an alert mode right from the times of cavemen. Okay, because they had a constant fear of being attacked by animals. So that part is still prevalent in our brain. So any change in situation will trigger that alert, but that is only for us to notice what is going wrong, how can I correct it, but that should never stop us from taking action. Yeah, so this environment plays a crucial role. So it's very important that you keep yourself out of this negative news and negative environment, negative people, and surround yourself with positivity so that you're more courageous, more confident, and you can bloom. Yeah.
Yes. Veena, so when we go in this what if mode, in our thinking, what is the easiest way to come out of this what if thinking and look at the brighter side of the situation?
For me, the easiest way is just reverse it. Because what happens is our mind is playing a victim game. Okay, so if I'm starting a new business, for example, all kind of questions will arise. What if I lose my money? What if I don't get clients? What if I risk my future? Yeah, what if I lose my all savings? Instead of that, what I need to ask myself is, what if I succeed? What if I'm opening up new opportunities? What if I am learning something new? Yeah, so this is where the positive self-talk comes into picture. Rather than going into a negative cycle, push yourself into the other side. Okay, because our mind is like a coin. There is a positive side and the negative side. It's the two sides. Now it is up to you which side you want to focus on. So push yourself to focus on the positives. That is a solution, as I already said, rather than focusing on the problems. What if focusing on all the negative, wrong things which can go happen? Okay, think about the positive things. But I'm not saying you don't have to be logical, analytical, but at the same time, take informed decisions, take opinions from experts, educate yourself, get informed, and then take small steps so that you boost your confidence and you change your what ifs into a better perspective. Yeah, you become a better person with that. Yeah, so it is all a mind game. And what we need to understand is consider life as a game and just enjoy it and go with the flow. Because even if you have made a mistake, it's okay. You don't have to be in that guilt and regret zone always. Yeah, so guilt is another thing which can trigger overthinking. So instead of being in the guilt, you just have to ask, what is it trying to teach me? What have I learned from my mistake? So it will be a beautiful journey if we are just constantly. It's like a game. If we in a game, if we lose, what do we do? Next time we try to perform better. We understand our mistakes and go forward, take a step forward. Same way, I'm not telling that you have to invest lakhs of rupees and just take it as a game, right? You take informed decisions, you take expert advice, and take small steps to it and try to make it correct. Go ahead, take decisions, take the risk, enjoy the journey of life.
So, people like me, like any individual who is lot in this overthinking zone, how does it impacts their relationship with their immediate family, even the professional relationship? Because
Hmm,
individual who is in the overthinking mode is too much in their head. They might not be aware of what is going on around. Does it impact his or her relationship with people around?
absolutely. Because I have experienced this personally. When I was in my overthinking mode, I was in so much of negative energy and my energy was totally drained out. Okay, it is same as how you do physical exercises. The mind is in an exercise mode. Okay, very foggy, trying to find what can go wrong anywhere. Okay, so your mind gets drained out. Your positive energy gets depleted. And do you think anybody will be interested to talk to a negative person like that, whose energy is always low? So automatically it is going to affect your relations. And what happens is, when I had to talk to someone, okay, even if it is in the family, how much ever close or outside, I used to think a lot. What meaning will they take out of this? Is it okay for me to say this? Will I be misinterpreted? Okay, so all this will ultimately lead to miscommunication. I will try to do it in the right way possible, but something else only will come out of it, which is totally unexpected. Because I am not in that clear mindset. I am in a foggy mindset. So my communications are never clear when I'm in the overthinking mode. And I am trying to find meanings for what they have told me. Okay, that might not be true at all. Each one has a story of their own, right? Because in a relationship, generally, there are three things. One is a story of the first person, another is the story of the person who's listening, and then there is a true story, okay, which is a combination of the first and the second person. Even in a professional environment, you are caught up in a loop of overthinking and negative thinking that you're not able to communicate your ideas openly and confidently because a constant fear of judgment and criticism that is eating you from inside, right? So there is no open communication. You don't want to share your ideas. And there is somehow lack of trust which will come in between. Because as you're not communicating openly, you start doubting the other person's intention, even if it is pure. Okay, for example, uh, your spouse must have been very tired and he might not be after coming from he or she after coming back from the office is not talking to you properly. Then you will be in a negative mode of thinking, oh my god, is he angry with me or what happened, did he have a bad day? You start sitting and creating stories in your head which is not true at all. So there is lack of communication. Scared to ask what happened because you feel he's in a bad mood, he or she might shout at you. So it has a huge impact on relations because the communication is cut off and there is a negative loop and thinking which is happening inside your mind. So you're not trying to understand what the other person is trying to communicate with you. And you always try to find out the intention of the other person, even in friendships. If somebody is helping you, you might be thinking that there is some selfish motive behind this. That is how people overthink. Yeah.
Okay, so how can an individual handle all these uncertainties which leads them into this overthinking zone?
Okay. First of all, we need to understand uncertainty is a part of life. So we should be okay to face the consequences because life does not come with a manual that if you do this, this will happen, this will happen. Okay. Things can go haywire at times, how much ever cautious we have been, because so many things are not under our control, right? Because, for example, I have been saving a lot and God forbid, some health emergency came into my family. I have to shift all that finance towards that instead of clearing some house loan or something like that. So there are uncertainties. See, COVID itself, we have, overcome such a huge uncertainty for 2 years, like COVID. Nobody can predict anything, right? So what we need to understand is we can control certain things. So we should focus on what we can control rather than focusing on something which is beyond our control. That is the easiest thing to do. We should be focusing on solutions. We have to create a roadmap. Yeah, we can plan for our future. We can allocate for things. Okay, so all this uncertainty will be there to a certain extent. Always create a plan B also so that we feel safe and secure. That if something goes wrong, okay, I can switch on to that. And for this, it's very important to discuss with people, talk with experts. Yeah,
Hmm.
and don't isolate yourself. That is what happens. These are the situations where overthinking develops into depression because you're constantly in your negative thinking loop. At that time, you don't feel like discussing with people because of the fear of judgment and fear of criticism. And when you isolate yourself, you go into depression. So, my humble request is whenever you're unsure about something, please get help from your friends, from experts, from counselors or coach, whoever it is, whoever you feel that has a better solution. Don't isolate yourself. And uncertainty can be challenging sometimes, but you have to build that strength. And please understand that, as I said, you cannot predict your future. Nobody can predict your future. We have been sent in this earth to do certain things and ultimately to live happily. So don't kill your happiness just because of that uncertainty and negative thinking loop. So always stay strong that I will find a solution for this. And if we look our journey of life, okay, how much ever age you are, 30, 40, 50, you have always found a solution. Otherwise, we all won't be sitting here, right? How much ever challenging, whatever crisis it is, we always have come out of that because everything is a passing phase, nothing is permanent. So if there is uncertainty, that also, this too shall pass, as we say, right? That also will pass. That is just the time frame. So we need to be patient and we should ultimately we have to have deep trust and faith in a higher power than us. That will release a lot of tension and overthinking. When we connect with ourselves with a higher consciousness, somewhere we all have a GPS within us. Okay. So God has sent us with a GPS. We just need to know how to use it. Yeah. Okay. So for that, we need to practice mindfulness and meditation. When we silence our mind, yeah, through meditation, it can be difficult. It was difficult for me also initially because thousands and thousands of thoughts are crossing our mind. So we need to put a stop, just put a pause to our thoughts and deep breathly focus on the good things which is happening around us, feel gratitude for it. Then you will feel a bit more relieved and understand that uncertainty will not prolong for a long time. You will come out of it. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, what I would like to know from you is, Veena, based on my experience, when I go in this overthinking mode, I don't realize that I'm in that overthinking mode.
Hmm.
So, what can an individual do to bring that awareness that they are going in this thought spiral or in this overthinking mode, where he or she himself will have to bring her or himself out of that situation? Because unlike any physical ailment which other people can see and support you with that, when you are in your overthinking mode, nobody can understand. It's only you. So, what can we do for ourselves to pick ourselves when we go in this overthinking zone, pull ourselves out of that zone, bring us in present, and take life as it is?
Yes, a very good question. Absolutely. As you said, only we can understand in which mode we are. Okay, so what I have trained myself is I am the master of my mind. I will not allow mind to rule me. Mind should be under my control, and I am not under the control of the mind. So, what happens is, as I said, 80,000 thoughts keep going throughout the day. Okay, so it's very important for us to be very aware of the kind of thinking we are in. It's like how a noisy class without a teacher, everybody will be running here and then. But as soon as the children hear the footsteps of the teacher, the class is quiet. Same way, our mind is like this noisy classroom. As soon as we catch our thoughts and bring that awareness, when the mind notices that the owner is interpreting, interfering, the mind quietens. So what I initially used to do is even I tell my clients, put an elastic band. And the moment you feel that you're going out of track, just pull it. Okay, because that physical pain is a reminder for us to come back to track. Okay, so initially it might be very difficult because, as I said, our mind likes to be in the victim zone, create stories. Okay, so even if I'm sitting in Bangalore, I might be thinking of something which happened 20 years back in Bombay, and I will be in that negative zone. Okay, in my college, this happened, and I was blamed for this, and constantly thinking. So it is my duty to quickly catch that thought, bring into awareness. Okay, so here again, I cannot express the importance of gratitude and meditation. So start your day with a very positive note and say to yourself that this is a most beautiful day and I'm taking the right decisions and I am my best friend. So everything I do is for my benefit. So all this, you're training your mind to bring back into track and slowly start focusing on the positive things in your life. What are the positive things happening throughout the day? As soon as your mind is pulled towards negativity, quickly switch on. Okay, for example, if somebody is lacking finances, they have huge loans to pay, quickly bring their thought, but you still have a house, you're not on the streets, you have a mobile phone, you have food to eat every day, twice a day, thrice a day. Okay, so these are the thoughts which you need to get into track when you are in a mode of, okay, somebody is criticizing about their boss. Think that you still have a job which is giving you money and food. So these are the ways which you switch. your thoughts from a negative track. Okay, so as I said, what if mode, whenever you go into the what if mode, again switch into positive. What if this becomes a success? What if my presentation is a huge hit and I back this project and I'm being appreciated by the boss and I'm getting a promotion? You can also create a positive story loop rather than always being in the negative story loop. And this is amazing because it works beautifully with visualization. That is how we train our mind to achieve our goals, when we go into that positive story track and be in that with a feeling of gratitude. Enjoy that. So then slowly you will start enjoying the flow of life.
I really liked how you made what if in a different positive scenario. But what if in a positive scenario, what are your thoughts on how can an individual distinguish between productive thinking and harmful thinking?
Okay, what I've learned through my experiences, when your thinking is solution focused, okay, and you're getting excited, you're coming from a place of joy and you're more positive, that could be uh, considered as a productive thinking. And of course, as I said, when you have done your study research, okay, when you want to decide, understand first of all whether it is a fact, is it real, or is it a story created in your head. From your experiences you will be able to identify whether it's fact or fiction, right? So if it is fiction, it is overthinking. If it is a fact, it is a reflective thinking. And write down, take some time, okay, to write down whatever comes to your mind. That is another way of releasing from your body. And then you can evaluate, is it real, is it fact, is it doing good for me, or is it doing bad for me, is it being harmful? Okay, anything which is really giving you uh, the thought, the emotions of doubt, fear, anxiety, procrastination, you don't feel excited anymore to do about it, that means you're restricting, you're stopping yourself from that. Yeah. But on the other hand, uh, if I've cleared a job interview and I'm pretty excited to take up that job, that means I'm in a very positive space and I'm not going into that overthinking mode. It is a reflective thinking. Yeah. So journaling can help you a lot. Whatever comes to your mind, write it and evaluate for yourself what is right, what is actual. Go by facts. If you want to discuss with someone, please go ahead and do it. Yeah. But don't try to decide everything by yourself, especially some crucial decisions which can affect your life. Yeah. And it's very important to connect with yourself. As I already said, there is a GPS. So take 10-15 minutes either in the morning or night. If you can do it both times of the day, that will be ideal, to clear your mind and be just quiet. Just focus on your breathing, because breathing can convey a lot of things. As soon as we focus on the breathing, we are putting a halt to our thoughts, because we cannot do two things at a time. When we focus on our breathing, we are just focusing on the breathing. So no thoughts will enter your mind. That is one way to break the cycle of overthinking, coming back to our previous question, right? So when we do mindful breathing, we are giving space to ourselves. And then what happens is we are clearing the fog in our mind. So our brain opens up for more clarity and we will be able to take better decisions. And also go to your past uh, mistakes which you have made. Try to understand what is it taught you so that you don't repeat it, right? For example, I went for an interview and I was nervous, so I did not clear the interview. So for the next interview, you will be much more prepared. What can I do to, reduce my nervousness? I will practice better, get a, accountability partner for me to practice, go through the company policies, understand what kind of business. So I can do my research. Same way you can do research in every area of your life to avoid future mistakes. So always take your mistakes as a thermostat to understand and learn much better so that you can avoid future mistakes. So all these are part of reflective thinking. because our mind is very powerful. So when we ask the right questions, it will guide you with the right answers. So do not confuse your mind with unnecessary thoughts. Yeah, so the mind will also get into that loop. Yeah.
And what can we do to tap into our intuition? Because many times it so happens that since we are too much in our thoughts, we forget what our body is telling us or what the sixth sense, which is there with us always, is trying
Yeah.
to guide us. So, what can we do to build this side of ourselves so we know the decision that we are going to make is correct and universe is supporting us?
Yes, definitely. As I said, we have been planted in this earth with all the devices which is needed for us. Okay, because our creator is so powerful that we have that one portion of that divinity within us. But because of our stress and the fast paced life, we fail to tap into our inner GPS. So for this, we need to activate our five senses. Very, very important, right? So spend time in nature. That will open up our senses. Okay. And it will also help you connect with the higher power, because nature is so abundant. It's a pure creation of the divine. And when we connect with nature, we start seeing the beauty. We start focusing on the positives. Because I don't think how much ever tension and stress, and you go sit in the garden, you will start feeling light automatically, right? Initially, you might feel restless, but when you spend time touching the grass, touching the flowers, smelling the flowers, taking the fragrance, feeling the fresh air on our skin, okay, so we are activating all our senses, right? So it will start improving our intuition. Then again, you have to connect with your mind. Meditation is the best tool. So try to sit constantly with yourself. Also, physical exercise matters a lot, because whatever blocked emotions, whatever stuck emotions are there in our body, that get released when we move our body. So it's very important as soon as we get up, okay, at least do a quick walk. Okay, that way we are activating, we are opening up our uh, emotions. Yeah. And so whenever you feel, that you're going in a negative zone, quickly get up, take a walk, wash your hands, splash water on your face. All this is going to help a lot. So when we connect with the five senses and when we connect with our breathing, our intuition starts developing automatically. And also journaling. Again, when you script, okay, have a plan your day. And the best thing to do is before you start your daily chores early in the morning, okay, when your mind is fresh, plan your day so your intuition is at its best. Yeah, as soon as you finish writing gratitude, plan your day so you get a clarity about what your day. And what happens is, for example, I have jotted out 5 tasks which I need to complete in that day, right? I will be focusing on that, then I don't have time to overthink. Overthinking also happens when your mind is idle, right? When you're when your day is full of tasks, you will be focusing more on it. But I'm not telling overload or get overwhelmed because of the task. Know your limit, what can be achieved in a day. So at least if you've finished 3 of them, celebrate that win. Don't, you know uh, be hard on yourself for not completing those 2 tasks. So all these small things help a lot. Because what happens is our life again is like a car. Okay, a car cannot just keep on moving. It needs some rest, refill it with the fuel. So, the fuel for us is connecting with nature, connecting with ourselves through meditation. These are the energy boosters which are going to guide us and make our life smooth. So, we need that petrol, we need that recharge, like our phone. Yeah, so in the night, recharge yourself by getting complete rest. What happens is sometimes people go to the bed and then that overthinking mode starts on. What will happen tomorrow? Will I be able to do the well in the meeting? And all kind of thoughts. So first of all, as we all know, we have to switch off the phone before going to bed, switch off the lights, do a small gratitude prayer, meditation. If you want, read a book so that you can, a good book, okay, not anything which negative news or gossips, which will slowly transition you into better sleep. And just before sleep, activate your subconscious mind by asking it to give direction. If you're stuck with a problem, please guide me, please show me what, not by with a negative talk, what will I do, oh my god, this is going to happen. Not so much of drama, but a peaceful discussion with the subconscious mind. Okay, I have this problem, please guide me through. Okay, by next day, tomorrow, I need a solution for this. And subconscious mind will be working on it and will show you the path. 99%. I have experiences, and many of us have experienced this. As I said, we just have to know how to communicate with the subconscious mind and the universe for our solutions. Then we will be taken care of and surrender. As I said, we surrender is a huge factor because we have certain things in our control, certain action steps which we need to take. Certain things we have to leave to the higher power also, because God might be having a better plan. Okay, I am lot of into spirituality. That is why I'm keeping on talking about higher consciousness. Because if our plan is not working, a better plan is working for you. Have that trust. When we have that trust and surrender, life can be very smooth. Then we don't have to think of 100 things. Okay, solutions will open up. We just have to surrender. But at the same time, we have to take that inspired actions through intuition, whatever actions have been told. Okay, we need to take that. We cannot expect miracles by just prayers. Okay, like we have to do 50% and the other 50% will be taken care of. So believe in that higher force and surrender. Yeah, so these are few things which can, really help.
Like, in your experience, people who worked on overcoming their this thinking zone and being in present, how have has their life changed after implementing this practice effectively on day in and day out basis? So you could share your story about yourself or any of your client story to understand what lies on the brighter side of life.
Definitely. So I had this client. She was a housewife. Because so she was totally into a falling into a depression phase when she called me, and that was totally because of overthinking. Okay, nobody had done anything to her. She is a very contented, peaceful family, very supportive husband, 3 children. But the thing was, children were very small, so she had constant anxiety about the children's upbringing and future, because the children are in a very competitive class or school environment. How will they overcome all this? My child is not studying well, all these things. And she used to get lost in her thoughts. And she also had a problem in in-laws relation. But after discussing with her, what I found was it was all story created in her mind rather than them reacting or responding to her. So I made her understand. I practiced all this gratitude, mindfulness, and made her understand that all these stories created in her head is not, it's fiction, it's not real. Okay. And her husband also tried explaining it to her. And slowly she started understanding the reality, because she was living in a fantasy created out of negative thinking. People are talking about her. And many, I think I've noticed this with all with ladies, they're very, very frightful of the judgment of the society. Yeah, because the society has created so much rules for us. Yeah, that we have to do this. A daughter-in-law has to behave like this. A daughter, all this have been set on to us, that if we want to do something differently, we are frightened a lot. Yeah, so I had to make her understand. I took her through this entire process of mindful thinking, positive self talk, how to plan her day, and everything. Slowly, she came out of it, and she's so satisfied, contented, and happy. And this happened within a month. A huge shift was seen within a month. Yeah. So I was in constant touch with her, and I used to tell her, anytime you feel that you're going in a depression mode, just text me, because you need to talk to somebody. Some people are so much into that they withdraw themselves, and it's very scary. You never know what happens in that mode, because it can even lead to suicidal thoughts. So it's very, very important that they have to get a proper guidance, and they need to feel that somebody is there to support you and handhold you. So we as coaches generally do this, right? Handhold them, understand, make them understand their potential. So they don't have to, depend on medication or keep coming back to it. Yeah. So once you're out of it, how to handle the situations, then your life becomes very happy. You're in such a very, clear space of thinking. You're able to take better decisions. You're able to enjoy life. That's a huge shift which happens. You're able to really understand and enjoy life, the small joys of life. Because what happens is when we are in an overthinking mode, we miss all this small joys. We don't even notice our children telling something. We are in our own head creating, and we miss that joyous moments what our children are trying to share with us. So we miss to see the beauty of nature. So all this we start reliving once you are out of that overthinking loop. And as I already narrated my story, I'm in much better space now. I can handle my own situation. Yeah.
So, Veena, if you have to reflect back, and do you think you've missed any major opportunities in life because you were in overthinking mode?
Definitely, I have regrets for that. Okay, mainly it is related to job opportunities, and also, as I said, I had gone through this for 10 long years. So, what opportunities I have missed is some beautiful, treasured, joyous moments which I could have enjoyed with my children, with my family, with my husband, because of this overthinking. I used to always doubt. Okay, so even if they are all enjoying, I will be like, I used to think, am I kept away from this family? Am I treated differently? I used to always be in that victim mode. So whatever is lost is lost. So now at least I don't want to regret and be in that guilt. I've learned my lessons.
Correct.
So I'm very aware now. Yeah. And also, I did not have the courage to take up more challenging jobs,
Mm,
even though I had the skills and experience. I was very, very scared to get out of my comfort zone or take up a new opportunity. Even if any promotion was told to me, I used to be very, very hesitant. And ultimately, I think the colleagues and my higher authorities also noticed that. So I was not forced to do anything. So ultimately, I was living in my limited comfort zone. I could not explore much. And unfortunately, that was a peak of my career where everybody flourishes between the 20 and 30. Now, anyway, everything has a reason to be. What I say is just because of this overthinking, I came into the coaching industry. I'm able to serve other people, right? So, again, there is something always better planned for you and something to be learned. So I'm really grateful that I could come out of it. And yes, so all the missed opportunities are also coming in pieces of the puzzle that had to happen for me to reach this stage.
mm. Veena, thank you so much for sharing all your insights. And you really made this overthinking into a beautiful world. Like, even if there are struggles with overthinking, it's easy to come out of it. And whatever you suggested, those are very easy to implement day to day action point. It's not that I have to make a huge investment or I have to dedicate hours for me to come out of that. So thank you so much, Veena. Thank you for coming and sharing all your insights.
Thank you so much, Namrata, for giving me this opportunity. And I've tried to explain from my knowledge and experience, and hope it helps the audience, whoever watches this, to get into a better, fulfilled life. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Bye.